Hello and welcome everyone to another StarCraft 2 England cast. Today I've got a game between LiquidZenio and Weekend. So both of these are top players. It is from the Team Liquid replay pack of the week, which is now sponsored by Razer. So the replay pack was Zenio and Hero. They did 2 for 1. It was like a special offer, except it was all winning. So fantastic. It's always good if you get 2 for 1 and you actually like both things. So fantastic news for everyone who loves StarCraft. Now this game is going to be played on Cloud Kingdom. It is a really sweet map. You've got a quite narrow choke to your natural base, so we'll probably see a Forge Fast expand out of Weekend here. And the third base, easy to take, but there's a ramp up to it. So multi-pronged attacks are your natural and your third, as well as this short air distance between the third and main. Interesting stuff can go on. Weekend is playing as the red Protoss player in the south position, and we've got Zenio as the blue Zerg player in the top position. Now Weekend is thrown down that pylon there, so we're probably going to see a Forge come down. Although you could do a gateway expand. I mean, don't want to pigeonhole him before he's done it, but 9 times out of 10 you will see a Forge Fast expand on this map. It's safe, gets a really early Nexus out, means you get that good economy, and it forces the Zerg player to take this third base super early, which means there's so many ways that can be attacked. There's so many ways the natural base is weak there. It's a good position for a Protoss to be in. Now Zenio is going to be going for that pool on 13, so a bit early, but it just makes him safe. It means that he can take out any pylon here pretty damn quickly. He is safe from any crazy shenanigans. No need for a gas, because to be honest, you don't need speedlings in order to deal with early Protoss pressure. You can do it all with spines and slow Zerglings, so no need to take that gas, just power the minerals. And if they have gone for this Forge Fast expand, as Weekend has here, it means you've got more minerals in order to get your third base up super fast. So ZVP, if you are the Zerg player, forget that gas early on unless you're doing something. Get just as many minerals, get that pool to deal with a pylon block or any cannons, and then just power minerals to get your third base down super quick. About 4-minute 20, 4-minute 30 is where you should be aiming. Now Weekend is going for the Nexus before cannon, which is perfectly safe to do. I mean, he hasn't actually come up to scout here, I don't think, so I'm not sure if he knows the timing there. Oh no, he has. He knows that the pool is on its way, so to be honest, he's fairly safe. He knows what's coming, and this drone is going to basically not be able to plant it down, but there are 2 Zerglings there as well, so that hatch is going to go down fairly simply now, and that probe is going to have to run away from those big scary Zerglings. So always a nasty place to be if you are a probe being chased by Zerglings. But meanwhile, back at Weekend's base, a gateway, a pylon and a cannon with a probe finishing off the wall off. He is safe as safe can be. It's quite a long rush distance as well, so even this single Zergling won't get there, I don't think, before that cannon's pretty much down. And the way he's positioned, only a single Zergling can attack this probe at a time, so that wall off is pretty much safe, to be honest. Although, actually, no, I say it's completely safe, and it turns out that that probe will just die in time. But having said that, everything's pretty fine and good. I mean, the Zerglings can't go through there. The natural base is half done for Zenio. Weekend has got his natural base about to finish up any second now, and to be honest, Zenio will probably be taking down this third base very shortly. Already it would have been good if it had come out, but because he got that pull slightly earlier than most Zergs do, it means that it will just be delayed a little bit. And actually this drone having some bad pathing going on there, so was blocked by the Queen there, but now moving over and is just going to be going for that hatch very quickly. So a bit later than I would have liked to have seen it. I mean, Zenio did try and put on some early pressure, but didn't manage to get away with it, and of course that means that this third base is going to get delayed by almost a minute, which isn't huge, but it's enough to make it a bit of a problem. But he does have some Zerglings out, so he can deny this scouting. He doesn't have to worry about any pylons or anything like that. And I mean, this is really quite late. It's a minute late pretty much for where you want to be aiming to get that third base out at. But nonetheless, +1 is on the way now for Weekend. He's chrono boosting out probes. In his main base he's got both gases, but only getting out Stalker, so I mean, still fairly normal stuff going on, nothing too crazy. The third base for Zenio is about quarter done, and his natural base is looking pretty good. He's got both gas coming, one in the natural, one in the main. But aside from that, nothing else crazy happening as of yet. So creep spread is okay. Only got 2 queens, I do believe. Now, quite a lot of Zerg players do favour getting that third queen, just because it means you've got some creep spread and a bit of extra defence. It means that if there are any zealots coming in, 2 queens can deal with that pretty well. So I mean, these Zerglings are giving great map vision though. Both watchtowers are held. We'll see this Stalker here. everything's fine. There is a robotics facility on the way now for Weekend, so will be interesting to see what comes out of that. It is quite early, and obviously there is only that one gateway, so it's one gate robo from a Forge Fast expand, so could see some interesting things happen here. My money is on a Warp Prism, and we're going to see some drop play, and everyone loves drop play because it's awesome and it's multitasking and crazy stuff happens. But anyway, Zenio is getting down that Evolution Chamber and Roach one. Very, very standard timings for Zerg players now. Get the Roach one, get the Evolution Chamber against Protoss. It means you've got spores out when you need them, and it also means you've got Roaches out. Now, these Zerglings still don't have speed, but we'll get around on one of those Stalkers. That's a good little win there for Zenio. Keeping the Stalker numbers down is absolutely brilliant. Lair is also on the way for Zenio as well. Forgot to mention that when I was over there. And as I thought, a War Prism is on the way out, getting Chrono boosted as well. Meanwhile, some extra gateways are on the way. 3 extra gates, so it's going to be 4 gates straight away. And it is 3 gases as well, so this could actually be very, very strong. Weekend not looking as if he's going to be going for a third base anytime soon. And injects are actually a little bit late here. And I mean, this might not seem like much, but even just a few seconds delay does all add up. And something you want to try and minimize. Getting those perfect injects is kind of ideal, especially when you're not really getting pressured by anything as far as I can see. I may have missed something, but I don't think there was anything going on there. And Spore Crawlers are on the way down. Now, some are being built blindly, and this Overseer here is going to be able to go in and scout everything out, so we won't be able to get the counter off on those spores yet, but if Zenio had said that in earlier, then obviously he wouldn't have had to build those spores. It is an investment, but he will now see that there is that robotics facility there, and won't actually scout out that War Prism quite yet, but we'll see the Immortal, so I don't think that's actually going to get scouted, but there is an Overlord up here, so it will get scouted kind of last minute, and oh, of course, the Watchtower. So that is where Zenio did see it. That Watchtower is there, but obviously nothing that he can shoot it with. So he can deny the drop play from doing too much damage, but he can't actually take out that War Prism. The Spores will be able to do a little bit of damage there, and can be used quite effectively. A Hydra Den on the way. Now that is actually a good response in this situation. It's still 2 bases, no sign of Colossus, and he has already seen an Immortal out. Now, Hydras are really, really strong against gateway armies, and specifically if you have got some Roaches to back them up. Some Spine Crawlers are down, one in the mineral line here. A lot of drones there, a Spine Crawler coming down as well. I mean, Zenio's in a good defensive position for this. I don't think he's going to have too much trouble defending and hold this off. If he does manage to pick off the War Prism, that'd be a big win for him. A couple of drones will go down now, but nothing too serious. A lot of Speedlings are coming in, so just a pick up, but still nothing to worry about. +1 obviously is done, and +1 armor is also done as well for Weekend, so that's quite nice. And as you can see here, Weekend just exploiting this high ground position and the fact that by air it's very, very close between the third and main base, so he can use that to his advantage. That Queen going to move forward, but War Prisms obviously are pretty sturdy. They're not quite easy to take down with just 1 Queen. Some Roaches, a lot of Zerglings are on the way as well, and now this Zergling is really, really key to all of Zenio's play. This is telling him that no third base is out, and if you get to kind of 12 minutes and you haven't even seen any sign of a third base, you should get a little bit nervous. And the only thing I'd like to have seen Zenio doing is just poking the front, but obviously he's got this Overseer here, which is giving vision of most things which are going on. But still, I don't actually know if you can see those 2 cannons, but either way, this army is going to get scouted by the Watchtower there, so could get us around. A couple of Stalkers should go down here, but actually, because Weekend was just really on the ball, he can pull back his units just to defend that. Now, meanwhile, this War Prism is still there, providing power for Warpins, so we should see some good Warpins. And if we take a look down here, this is a lot of gateways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 gates. So really, Weekend is going all in here. He's got to do a lot of damage with this attack, and I mean, he can. There are quite a few Hydras. The upgrades are 1-0 to 1-1 of Weekend. Fantastic force fields. Wow, those force fields were brilliant. Just really locking off most of Zenio's army, just picking off some of the front units. Those Immortals doing horrendous damage to the Roaches, but obviously there are those Hydras in place, so really, as you can see, Zenio is just maxing out, trying to get as many units on the field as possible. A lot of Zerglings, a lot of Roaches on the way, spending pretty much all of his minerals straight. Some more great force fields going on there, just preventing Zenio's units from being able to get a nice surround. However, some of those Immortals are losing their shields, and once those shields go down, Immortals die surprisingly quickly. And still, this War Prism just providing power. Some more Warpins are going down. As you can see, still Weekend not doing anything to try and take a third base, so he's completely committed to this. If this attack works, he wins. If it doesn't, he loses. So that was a good force fields going down as well. Quite a few Zerglings did manage to get into the fray. One Immortal did fall, and that's quite a big loss at this stage, because obviously those Immortals do huge damage to both roaches and buildings and will be needed. But Weekend, he's just keeping that War Prism there and is remaxing, and obviously off 8 gateways, that does a huge amount of stuff. +2 is about to finish up though for Zenio, and a couple of good force fields, and all Weekend is doing is just trying to pick off a few units at a time without taking any losses, and that's exactly what he wants to be doing. He's not overcommitting. So many players in this position will effectively A-move their army towards the base and go for a head-up engagement, but this little poking forward, pulling back just means that he doesn't take much damage, but does quite a bit of his own. Now the only thing Zenio could be doing here is trying to get a Ling run by and to counter-attack, but not going to be able to get away with it here. And this is it. Weekend is going for it. Some good force fields there, picking off a couple more units still. A surround is being attempted by Zenio, but it's just being forced back. And Weekend still just playing it very, very carefully, pulling back again, waiting for another wave of warpins. And this is just beautiful, patient play by Weekend, doing damage when he can and not taking too many losses. And you will see here, Zenio has got quite a good arc there. No force fields are left, I don't actually think. A couple do go down, but still, this is a great arc for Zenio. He's got a good surface area, but those force fields did actually just manage to pull it back in favour of Weekend. And still, you will see big engagements. Those Stalkers are engaging in the back. The Immortals are just trying to focus fire down those roaches, doing large amounts of damage. More warpins are occurring. Drones being pulled as well for Zenio. And, I mean, this is pretty damn close. I wouldn't actually like to call who's winning this at the moment. I think this third base will go down now, though. There's only a few Hydras, and Weekend is focusing in. Doesn't quite manage to get that hit off, though. He just needs literally, like, one more hit on that hatch, and he needs to get off ASAP, because that will... Once that goes down, he's in a really strong position now. They are on equal basis. Obviously, by killing that hatch, it also really reduces Zenio's macro ability. He does have a macro hatch in his main base though, so not too bad there. Does force the cancel, so that base isn't coming out. And now really, Weekend only has a couple of units left. The Immortals are down, so it's just those 8 gateways. He's pretty much mined out his main base, but then so is Zenio. And really, I don't know which way this is going to go here. I would say it's slightly in favour of Weekend still, just because on equal supply, Protoss are favoured just due to the fact that their units are slightly stronger. Zerg needs the kind of good surrounds, the max up in order to deal with it. And here we go. Weekend is going to be pushing forward. It's going to be a big engagement. No sentries out, so no force fields will go down. This is purely down to upgrades. It is 1-1 against 2-0. And, I mean, it's pretty close, but it's going in favour of Weekend here, I do believe. Just staying out of range of that spine and just pushing forward is going to force it back. Most of the roaches have taken out, and that spine goes down. That was critical in defence, and that third base is almost certainly going to be forced to get cancelled again. And meanwhile, I mean, Zenio just has so little army, coming in with some more roaches, but this warp in, I think, is pretty much going to win it now for Weekend. He's ahead in the supply, and he can just go and march in now, I do believe. He is going to go for it, and I mean, this is just great patient play still. Weekend is waiting for the right opportunity to engage. And really, Zenio doesn't want to be attacking in this position, because it does mean that he gets into a choke point and does allow Weekend to get a better surround. Weekend just moving forward with his Stalkers, trying to get maximum surface area, so they are all firing on those roaches, and now just pulling back again because he doesn't want to lose any. And another wave of warpins are going to go down, and I mean, this is so close. It's great play by both players, and 2 force fields do go down now, trapping those roaches and preventing reinforcements. And I mean, just being able to pick off a few units and preventing Zenio being able to pull back has really tipped this again in favour of Weekend, cancelling that third base again. And this is just so close right now, and both players are just really having to micro their units hard, not lose too much, just pick up where they can. Lovely move by Zenio there, just pulling back and managing to take down the Zenith. And a slightly better arc there for Weekend, so he's going to be doing slightly more damage. And these Overlords aren't in a good position here. They are going to go down to those Stalkers, and obviously the Observer providing the vision of the high ground doesn't supply block Zenio, but it does still cause problems. And another big wave of warpins come in here, and literally all Weekend's doing is pumping units, all Zenio is doing is pumping units. It's all down to the individual's skill on how well they hold this and defend it. A couple of force fields to go down. They don't do much, but it just allows a couple of extra Stalker hits to go off on those roaches. Meanwhile, the Zealots aren't going to be able to get away, and one will fall. Seriously, this is so close. It's a constant kind of battle on the edge. The longer it goes on, though, it does actually favour Weekend, just because To be honest, Zenio's down to 1 base mining, and while Weekend is as well, Protoss can do slightly better off being 1 base down, and there we go. Zenio has decided to call the GG there. I don't think he could have coped with that too much more, so well played by both players. It was really close, it was back and forth the entire engagement, and Weekend's all-in did actually pay off. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please click subscribe and come and watch more of my videos. Also, follow me on Twitter at SC2_England. Thank you very much for watching. Catch you soon.